New tonight, a major cut to a federal grant could mean thousands of survivors of sexual and domestic violence lose access to critical services, and the timing is extremely difficult. Local 5's Mary Sugden joins us in the studio tonight. Mary, you've been talking to advocates in these communities. What is their message?
Yes, Samantha, the concern here, as you said, really comes down to the timing, with the pandemic putting many victims in close quarters with their abusers, unable to escape during quarantine periods. Now that, mixed with stressors like job loss or housing insecurity, has meant a national uptick in abuse, which is why advocates are sounding the alarm, urging those in the legislature for more funding. Advocates describe it as a shadow pandemic, crimes like domestic violence and sexual assault happening in darkness, out of the view of the public and behind closed doors.
There were less survivors actually seek out services during 2020, and so we're expecting a surge now.
But for agencies who believe they could see an uptick of clients due to factors of the pandemic, they say massive budget cuts mean a drastic decline in the survivors they'll reach.
We are incredibly concerned. These cuts are catastrophic.
In a letter to Governor Kim Reynolds, the agencies impacted say the 35% cut in federal funding for state grants equates to at least 28,000 fewer crime victims receiving services in the next 2 years. To put that in perspective, from October of 2019 to September of 2020, these programs delivered services to nearly 56,000 survivors.
We know that the governor has been supportive of survivors throughout her terms. So we're hoping that some of those funds coming in will help to alleviate that gap.
Those funds these agencies are hoping Governor Reynolds will sign off on, $20 million from the American Rescue Plan.
I think it's a crisis for the community, a crisis for the state. We need additional funds, and quite frankly, even $20 million isn't enough. We can always use more.
Everyone deserves to be safe in their home. We believe that everyone feels that way, but it's going to collectively take all of us to do that.
So instead of these survivors feeling alone in the shadows, they can find hope and services. Now, to be clear, this funding will also go to help families and victims of crimes like homicide, stalking, child abuse, and human trafficking. Now, the agencies who wrote this letter to the governor say they've already had a meeting with her office and are hopeful for sit-downs in the future. We reached out to Reynolds' office for comment but have not yet heard back. Reporting in the studio, Mary Sugden, Local 5 News, We Are Iowa.
Mary, thank you. And if you need resources, call the number you see there on your screen to reach the Iowa Victim Service Call Center. You can also text Iowa Help to 20121.